Alright, so this LeetCode question is called power of 2. It says, given an integer, write a function to determine if it is a power of 2. Example 1. Is the number 1 a power of 2? Yes, it is, because 2 to the 0th power is 1. Example 2. Is 16 a power of 2? Yes, it is. Example 3. Is 218 a power of 2? No, it's not, so we return false. Alright, what this question wants to know is whether the n being passed in is a power of 2. The key to solving this is to figure out the powers of 2 that are less than n. And when you come to a power of 2 that is no longer less than n, you just compare it to n. And if it's the same thing, then yes, it's a power of 2. If it's greater than it, it's not a power of 2. I'll show you what I mean. So you start with 2 to the power of 0. That's 1. Is that less than 10? Yes, it is, so you keep moving on. What's 2 to the power of 1? 2. Is that less than 10? Yes, so you move on. What's 2 to the power of 2? 4. Is that less than 10? Yes, so you move on. What's 2 to the power of 3? 8. Is that less than 10? So you move on. What's 2 to the power of 4? That's 16. Is that less than 10? No, so you stop. Now what you do is you take that power of 2, so 16, and you see, does it equal n? If it does, then yes, it's a power of 2. If it doesn't, then no. Alright, let's get to the code. What LeetCode has given us is a function called isPowerOf2 that accepts a parameter n. N is just the number we're trying to figure out whether or not it's a power of 2. Alright, so the first thing we could do is we can eliminate any number that's less than 1. Because remember, the first power of any number is 1. So we'll say if n is less than 1, we'll return false because that's definitely not a multiple of 2. Now we'll create our variable that will hold all of our powers of 2. We'll call it power of 2. And we'll instantiate it to the number 1 because the number 1 is the first power of 2. Next, we'll create our while loop that will increase our powers of 2 and compare it to our n. So we'll say while power of 2 is less than n, what are we going to do? We're going to increase it to the next power of 2. So power of 2 equals the power of 2 we're on times 2. So the next power of 2. So like I showed you before, what this is going to look like is this. The first power of 2 is 1. So then the while loop is going to say, is this less than n? Yes, it is. So now it's going to save the next power of 2 into this variable, which is 2. Is this less than n? Yes. So it's going to make it the next power of 2. Is this less than n? Yes, it is. So it's going to make it the next power of 2. Is this less than n? Yes, it is. So it's going to check one more time. It's going to make power of 2 16. So we're at line 12 again. Is this less than n? No, it's not. So now we can check to see if this number is a power of 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to return whether this number, in this case it's 16, equals n. Alright, let's quickly do it one more time, except for n being 8. Erase these. Okay, so at line 10 it says let power of 2 equal 1, which it is. While loop. Is this less than n? Yes, so make it the next power of 2. Is this less than n? Yes, it is. So make it the next power of 2. Is this less than n? Yes, it is. So make it the next power of 2. Now, is this less than n? No. So now we're going to check whether it equals n. So we're at line 16. Does this equal n? Yes, it does. So let's run the code. Looks good. Let's submit it. All right. So our solution was faster than about 48% of other JavaScript submissions. As usual, the code and written explanation are linked down below. If you like the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.